right. Once again, this is Michael W. Mutinda, my YouTube channel. And today, as I promised, I will give detailed information about the DV lottery, which we call the American Green Card. That's the common name. First of all, I want to lay ground information, which a lot of people are asking. And the main item that I would like you to know is the fact that the US green card is not to be paid any money when you are putting your application in. I'm not disregarding the fact that when you go to a cyber, there is a possibility that the cybers will charge you based on the time that you have spent there. That's the fee for the cyber. But the green card itself, it is not something that when you are applying, you pay any money. So if you go to a website and the website says that you are paying money, just don't believe that website. So the DV entrants that are applying for the 2023 green card, which we call the American Visa Lottery Program, there are simple things they must meet, very strict eligibility requirements in order for them to qualify for the diversity visa. Now, there are some items that are laid down there, and the first thing is America has a number of countries that it allows to apply for a green card. And basically every year, they're supposed to have at least 50,000 people who are given the green card visas for the purpose of traveling to the United States. Now, here is the first thing that a lot of people right now, they are giving false information about the entry time when it's supposed to be applied. But one thing I want you all to know is that it is not yet time. There is not yet a given guaranteed date. But here is the thing. Online registration for this year, it will begin the first week of October 2021, and it will conclude the first week of November 2021. Now, just a caution, when applying for green card, if you are doing it on your phone, your computer at home, if you have internet, there are several items you need to know. First, do not wait until the last minute, because a lot of times in so many areas, people wait until the last minute for them to do something. Do not be a part of that group that waits until the last minute. For the first few years, it has now changed to a point whereby you have to have a passport, because there is a section that is asking for the passport. Have they changed this year? I have not that information yet. So it means I'll still have to come back to you, especially to let you know that it is open, and also what are the requirements if there is, or just read through all the requirements and how you will go about it, filling the green card information. So do not wait. In other words, now there are some requirements for this eligibility that you need to have before you can be qualified. And I mentioned before that a particular country can be disqualified just because it's that country. One of the reasons is because they have already determined that in the first 5 years, that country has several, like over 50,000 immigrants to the United States. So the applicants must meet the first thing that I always want people to know. They must meet what we call education requirement. This education requirement first is a high school diploma, that's what we call it, or a qualification certificate in a secondary school. Those who term it as a secondary school, you have to be already graduated, and you have to have your results for your high school, Form 4. So if you've not reached Form 4, don't even try to apply. But I want to give you a caution on that. You may have completed Standard 8, but after that, you got into different programs that have the ability for a particular to prove that you have learned more than just class 8, that can be an equivalence of the Form 4 eligibility, and that can make you be qualified to be eligible for that. So you have to think about that part of eligibility. So the country, the education. If you have those two items, which means high school, the country must be listed. I may have time to read, but most of my listeners may come from Kenya, definitely Kenya, Uganda, and other parts of the world, because it just happens that because of where I come from, a lot of people may have to listen to that. But if you come to those places, that at this time, I know they are qualified and they are accepted, but there are other countries that we may have to revisit about that. So there are links that you can go to just confirm what kind of education is required. Now, I want to get into the part of online entry of this, a specific entry, which is www.travel.state.gov. That's where you go into during that time of registration, and then you are able to fill in the information that is required of you. If you are married, and pay attention to this, you are married, your wife has those qualifications, both the country and the education, or your husband has both, you can both of you apply for a US green card. Each one of you will be required to fill in the information that they are the applicant and they have a spouse. Then you have your other spouse. Your spouse, you put the name of your spouse and the children. Now, if you leave that information, it will disqualify you. And then if the wife does that and the husband does the same. Once you're done with that, make sure you have the pictures for the children. Also, online, you are able to find information on the requirements for the photograph for the green card. Once you have that photo ready for you and for the children, then at that time, you are able to submit those photographs. So if your wife or your husband has completed the requirements, you have two possibilities. And a child that has already attained the age of 18 years can also apply, and you do not have to include them. But if they are under 21 years, you can include them into your application. Other things that you need to know is after you qualify, before I get to the qualification, after you put in the information into the system, you will wait until May next year. The applications that will be done this year will be out in May next year. That's when you can check. Once you complete your process, there is a number that comes out there. That number or that page which comes, it's the key information you need to keep. Either you print it, you take a picture of it, or you do what you can to keep that number. Be very careful about how you are writing that number, because there are some elements of that number that you may write and they may not be able to give you any information, because that's the number you're going to use. They no longer communicate through the email to tell you that you won, so that number is the key. If someone has done that for you, make sure you have a copy of that number. Now, let's say you go in May and find that you have been selected. That moment, it will show you information on what you need to do from there, and it will guide you through the process. If you are in the country of, when you are applying your country of residence, where you are claiming in the system, then they will send you to the embassy. Now, that's when now the fee starts. There is a hospital fee. There is the USC requirements fee that for the official processes. And I think the three items that processing fees, medical examination, USCIS administration fees, and traveling expenses are the things that you need to consider from there. And those are key things that sometimes people confuse them. It's not cheap, but I always tell my friends, once you get that, it is the most approved, the best way that you can be at peace when you migrate to the United States of America. Now, again, my friends, I know you have asked me to talk about this. I definitely will come back with more information, especially when the date opens. I'll still have another clip. But I want to make sure that you understand that you need to follow me, because I'll be releasing more information about this. Remember that coming to America does not mean that once you get here you got it all done or all made. No, not really. There is a lot of process for you to succeed, and that's why they want you to start with the high school, so that at least you have success in your hands. If you're a hard worker and you get to this country, yes, things will change. You change your life, you change the life of your family. Here, it is about hard work. Now, some questions that I have received from people is, do you get a house when you get there? Or do you get things paid for? No, you do not. You have to know someone like me in the first place before you go to the appointment at the embassy, so that I can write a letter to the embassy and then be able to send that letter that will support you, like I will support you to be here. Now, when I'm talking about someone like me, is someone that you know is a family friend who is already living in the United States, that they have a living address that they can use, so that when you go to the embassy for your appointment for the green card visa, then you can give that information. And that way they are able to process your documents once you get here and mail them to the address that you've given them. I want to tell you, the sure way to be in America is through the green card. I know everyone is wanting to be here, but my friends, it is better to get that green card. It is good, but it's a hard work. It calls for hard work. But you know, anything is possible. My friends, there is nothing impossible. I'll still give a story about so many things that happen here. You need to follow me as we continue with this issue, and I prepare your mind about the requirements and what you are needed. So if there are any questions on this video, please write comments down there and make sure that you can ask your questions clearly, and I'll be able to respond. I'll just hit reply, and either it can be a side conversation or I can just reply so that others may be able to see that. Otherwise, I love you, and pay attention to the details of the new video that will be coming immediately next month, when the green card opens. Right now, don't be lied to. I saw another clip or something in the internet saying that it is very limited, it's 15 days. That information is not yet here. Some websites want to get money from you, so just don't pay attention to them. Let's pay attention to the right thing, and you will see the correct information if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Michael W. Mutinda. You see the right link that you can use to apply your green card. So again, prepare your passport. It is very, very necessary to have it. Thank you, and God bless you.